Mum needs the transplant within 72 hours or they're moving her to palliative care. I need 50,000.
Shot 1, she looked exactly right. Shot 14, my lead turned toward camera and she wasn't her anymore. The story was intact. The person had changed. The problem has a name, character consistency, and if you want to know how to keep characters consistent in AI video, it starts with understanding why it happens. So why does she change at all? The reason is simpler and worse than you'd think. Models generate one shot at a time, and every generation starts from zero. The model has no idea what she looked like 30 seconds ago because it holds no memory of your project. None. So what do you do about that? You build scaffolding, like I did. Her reference images attached to every generation, like a ritual that might protect her. Her description copied into every instruction until you stop seeing the words. 20 versions of one shot, choosing the one that betrayed her least. A face locked in one tool, references carried by hand into another. And one evening you understand what the scaffolding really is. Not a workflow. You, personally, being the memory of the project. Drift never announces itself. It waits for the edit, where it is expensive to see. So where should she actually live? InVideo Agent is where that ended for me, and it answers character consistency structurally. Everything comes down to context, the project's memory. You don't begin with prompts, you begin with your material. Her sheet, the world, the references go in once, and from then on, every single generation is built against context and checked against context. Her existence stops depending on your vigilance. She lives in the project. What does InVideo Agent do first? The first thing it does is remember. I described my lead once, her face, the simple clothes, the thin silver necklace from her mother that appears in every episode, and it committed to context. That lock persists across shots, across scenes, across sessions. I left the project for days between episodes, and when I came back, it had not forgotten who she was. I never introduced her to my own project again. How does she get into each shot? InVideo Agent carries her there itself. My direction stays mine. She walks into the pawn shop and puts the gift on the counter. InVideo Agent pulls her sheet from context, writes the complete instruction beneath my sentence, and sends it to the model. I never re-describe her because the project already knows her. What happens before I approve anything? InVideo Agent checks its own work. Every generation is reviewed against her locks in context, so the review is not a matter of my attention on the day. The comparison is the same one every time, against the same locked reference. In my alley scene, flickering light, rain, the hardest conditions in the series, one take came back with her position shifting inside the shot, a small warp I might have shipped. InVideo Agent flagged its own generation, named what had drifted, and regenerated until the take held still and held her. I used to find these things in the edit with suspicion. Now they are caught at review before they cost anything. So does a better model fix this? Better models drift less, but only a project that remembers her removes the work of remembering. Character consistency is a workflow answer, not a model answer. What did this hold up against? The series is the double life of my billionaire husband. 16 vertical episodes, one lead in every scene, and a second character with a harder problem. He lives a double life. Plain clothes and old books in one world, glass towers in the other. Two completely different presentations that must never blend into each other, and one face that must never change between them. Setup was his sheet into context once. Generation ran across separate sessions, and I only directed. How do you change one thing without breaking the rest? Partway through the series, his second world enters the story. One Direction. InVideo Agent held both wardrobes as the same locked character in context, carried the new look forward from that point on, kept every earlier episode untouched, and never once let the two worlds bleed. Across every finished episode, he has been exactly one person in two lives. Why does this keep happening to everyone? Character consistency was never about how well you described her, and no model release will finish it. Because the root cause is that generation holds no memory of your project, and the thing standing in for that memory was you. InVideo agent takes that weight at the root. Context holds her, the agent carries her into every generation, and every generation is reviewed against her locks. You direct, the project remembers. One honest limit from my series: long continuous takes are where stability is hardest. Characters can drift position or warp inside a single unbroken shot, and I keep an explicit no morphing rule in context and spend extra passes on those takes. Cuts are easy. Unbroken time still asks for patience. If you are holding your character together by hand, that is how to keep characters consistent in AI video. Bring her to InVideo agent at invideo.io and let the project remember her.
Mum needs the transplant within 72 hours or they're moving her to palliative care. I need 50,000.